of galvanometer into ammeter first. Here, conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. Here, we are taking the galvanometer typical. The resistance here is say like 10 ohm, and it can having say current Ig called galvanometer current 1 milliampere. Only 1 milliampere means 0.001 ampere, and the voltage Vg, voltage across the coil IR. This is the resistance of the coil. So IR, if you multiply this and this, you will get say 0.01 volt. It means here, if we give the more than 1 milliampere current passing through the galvanometer, it may burn out, or if you connect the voltage more than 0.01, it will also burn out. But we are measuring 10 ampere current, 100 ampere current, 1000 ampere current. Definitely we cannot measure, because 1 milliampere current is 1000 times more than 1 milliampere. If we are measuring the 10,000 times. It means we cannot measure high current from the same galvanometer. If we want to measure the more current, we have to modify. Modify means like say suppose here we are measuring the 10 ampere current. If 10 ampere current is flowing through the galvanometer coil, it will definitely burn out. Now what to do? To measure the higher current from the same galvanometer, we have to connect a low resistance path like this. Okay. So this is the I and Ig passing through the galvanometer coil, and this is called low resistance device, thick wire. It is called shunt. Let us the S is the shunt resistance. So current passing through the shunt is simply I minus Ig. And here 10 minus 0.001 is 9.999 ampere current. So almost all the current is passing through the shunt. Now these two, shunt and the galvanometer, they are in parallel. Because of parallel circuit, the voltage difference must be same. It means here, if we write here I minus Ig into S, IR, this is the resistance of the shunt, and here Ig into G. So we can find out the value of shunt resistance. It can be given like this. You put the value here, typical value 0.001, Ig 1 milliampere, and G is 10 ohm. This is 9.999. It is somewhere 0.001. It means this is very small resistance. If we connect this resistance across the galvanometer coil, what will happen? We can measure the even 10 ampere current. Suppose we want to measure the 20 ampere current, we want to measure the 100 ampere current, the shunt value must be improved. The shunt value must be improved. Okay? This way we can say the same galvanometer can be converted into desired range of ammeter. So it depends on the shunt value, shunt resistance, If we are taking more thicker wire, then we can increase the capacity 10 ampere to 20 ampere to 50, 100, 200 like. So we can say shunted galvanometer is called ammeter, and the value of shunt is different for different range of ammeter. Okay, clear? Any doubt? I am taking this very simple calculation. Whatever values are given to you, we can easily calculate. Okay? Any problem here? The conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. Okay, now we are taking the conversion of galvanometer into voltmeter now. Into voltmeter. Here, conversion of galvanometer into voltmeter now. Just to convert into voltmeter, we have to connect a resistance in series, and this is the high resistance in series. So it will convert into a voltmeter. Say this is the high resistance in series. This is the series high resistance. Suppose we want to measure 100 volt instead of 0.01 volt. If we connect the more voltage more than the 0.01 volt across the galvanometer, what will happen? It will burn out. Now in series we know the current is same, so current here in the series high resistance is same as 1 milliampere. 1 milliampere. So voltage drop across this high resistance IR. It means 100 minus 0.01 is 99.99 volt is the voltage drop across the series high resistance. Series high resistance. It means the voltage drop 99.99 is what I same because of series combination. In series combination current remains the same Ig. So Ig means 0.001 multiplied by the R. It means we can calculate R easily 99.99 divided by 0.0001. So here if we cancel out the decimal, we can get here the value of the series high resistance, which is very, very high. If we are taking thin wire might be very thin, so that resistance is high. Thin wire, very high resistance in series. So depending upon the series high resistance, we can convert the given galvanometer into desired range of voltmeter. So using the different series high resistance, we can convert the same galvanometer into different range of voltmeter. Okay, so if we are converting this galvanometer into 100 volt voltmeter, we have to connect this very high resistance 99990 ohm resistance in series. So this way we can calculate easily the shunt resistance in case of ammeter and series high resistance in case of voltmeter for any given numerical. Okay, we have taken the two cases, so we can solve numericals now, no problem. Any other doubt in this chapter? like say cyclotron. If anybody want to discuss the cyclotron, I'm ready to discuss cyclotron because this is very important topic. If it is clear to you, then we'll discuss different topics. So you want to ask any doubt, any discussion regarding the cyclotron, please come out. Or you don't want to discuss cyclotron, we'll discuss different topics. Noted down this now.
Sir,
Yes, please. Hello.
sir, cyclotron करा दो.
Cyclotron. Yes. Hers cyclotron. Any other topic? Just think of during this time. Note down this. Should rub it. Should I rub it now? Note it down, all of you. What is cyclotron? Hers, you just tell me what is cyclotron.
Sir,
Anybody? What is cyclotron? Cyclotron is a device. Just note down this. Cyclotron. The cyclotron is a device. It is a device to convert or to increase the kinetic energy of the charged particle to very high value of the order of few million electron volt. You know electron volt? 1 electron voltage. 1 electron means charge of electron 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 joule. So millions of electron volt energy we can increase. It means very high energy, and this high energy charge particle can be utilized in nuclear science and many applications, and we can change the configuration of nucleus also in nuclear science, and we can break it the nucleus easily by high energy charge particles. So cyclotron is a device to convert the charge particle to rather increase the kinetic energy to very high value. And what is the principle here? Principle here is cyclotron principle. We have to pass the charge particle through the electrical field again and again with the help of magnetic field, because we know the magnetic field cannot increase the speed and kinetic energy. It can just change the path. If the charged particle is passing through the magnetic field perpendicularly, it will follow the circular path only. So it can change the direction, it can change the momentum, it can change the velocity, but it cannot change the magnitude like speed and kinetic energy. So in two parts, kinetic energy can be increased by electrical field, very high electrical field, and with the help of magnetic field it can rotate. So again and again passing through the electrical field charge particle, kinetic energy increased. This is the principle here. What is the principle? Charge particle is passing through the electrical field again and again with the help of magnetic field. And this way we can increase the kinetic energy. Now working and the construction of this working and construction of this cyclotron. Here, let us say this is the horizontal disk of roughly 2.5 to 3 meter diameter and cut into two parts. So it is called D. Now D1 and D2. This is the horizontal disk of diameter roughly 2.5 to 3 meter, cut into two parts. It is called D1 and D2. It is separated by very small distance, few millimeter only, and we have connected a very high frequency oscillator. Frequency is very high. Frequency is roughly 10 to the power 7 hertz, and voltage quite high, 10 to the power 4 volt. Because the gap is very less, few millimeters. So what is the electrical field? Electrical field is given by voltage divided by the gap here. So what 10 to the power 4 divided by few millimeter means it is very high electrical field. And the force is given by QE. So acceleration is force divided by mass. Force is QE divided by mass of the charged particle. Because electrical field is very high, so acceleration is very high. If acceleration is very high, definitely speed increases very high. Not once or twice, but many times it circulates. So in each and every half cycle it is accelerated, and in one cycle it is accelerated 2 times. But frequency 10 to the power 7 hertz, what does it mean by? Frequency 10 to the power 7 hertz means in 1 second 10 to the power 7 rotations. And double of this, so twice acceleration. It means in 1 second it is accelerated, is passing through the electrical field charge particle 2 to 10 to the power 7 times. So in fraction of seconds even, it accelerates and get the very high kinetic energy. And after getting the very high energy, we have converted the charge particle from rest to very high kinetic energy, and with very high speed, it can hit the target, and target is normally nucleus. Now this is the magnetic field here, say North Pole and South Pole. It means here the North Pole and South Pole, there is a magnetic field vertically downward, and these two Ds are in horizontal plane. So magnetic field is definitely perpendicular to the plane, and here electrical field is, because the oscillator is AC oscillator. AC means it is converting or rather oscillating. So this is what oscillator. Electrical oscillator means it is changing the polarity also. So this is called electrical oscillator. High frequency oscillator. Frequency we have described very high. So suppose this is a charged particle here. We have produced the charged particle Q here, positive charged particle, let us say proton, neutron or alpha particle. At this moment, suppose the charged particle produced here, at this moment, let us discuss, this is the positive plate and this is the negative. So this is the direction of electrical field from D1 to D2. It means the charged particle accelerated here in the direction of electrical field. Because this acceleration is very high, electrical field is very high, voltage is also high, the distance is very less, electrical further very high. It's moving from left to right. As soon as it enters in the D, magnetic field acts. Now, this is the magnetic field direction downward, and this is the charged particle here moving in the forward direction. What will happen? This is a perpendicular field. Because of this, it circulates like this. Here, as soon as it comes out from D2 to D1, polarity changes because of this oscillator. It changes the polarity like this AC. So it again accelerate. Magnetic field circulate it and electron will accelerate this way. This way we can say charge particle accelerating again and again, again and again, again and again. And here now it has got very high energy. After getting the sufficiently high energy, it comes out through the window. Let us say this is the window here, the charge particle comes out with very high kinetic energy. And suppose there is a target here, because the target is very small, like nucleus, nucleus is very, very small. Here, of size is 10 to the power minus 15 meter. So Fermi level target. It means suppose by taking the every care, possibility here is to miss the target. So charge particle may miss that target. What to do now? Is the deflecting plate here. By the adjustment of deflecting plate, we can change the direction of charge particle. And now adjustment is like this, it will definitely hit the target. So this is the working and construction of cyclotron. There are many things we have to discuss, but mainly here let us discuss again what is cyclotron. Cyclotron is a device to increase the kinetic energy of the charge particle. And what is the principle here? Charge particle is passing through the electrical field in the gap. As we know, these are the 2D, D1, D2. They are separated by a small distance, very small distance, and voltage across these 2D is very high, 10 to the power 4. Gap is very less, so electrical field is very high. If electrical field is very high, acceleration is very high. So in one stroke only, it increases the kinetic energy. But we are passing the allowing the charge particle to pass again and again, again and again with very fast speed, and frequency is very high. So in fraction of second, it gets the very high kinetic energy and allowed to pass through the window and hit the target. By the deflecting plate, we can adjust the direction of this charge particle, and it will definitely hit the target.
Thus,
Any doubt here?
sir,
Any doubt here in the discussion of this working of this cyclotron? Yes, anybody?
sir, namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
Sir,
Hello.
so, sir, only one charge is projected in cyclotron, or many can be used?
One time, only one charge.
Okay.
One time, one charge.
And sir, are there
Because
any
one charge is sufficient here to hit the target. Suppose
And-
it is missing the target, we can produce another charge. Okay.
and sir,
One charge is sufficient here. We are taking one charge at one time only. No confusion. Yes, any doubt?
yes,
Adit?
sir, yes, sir. Are there any other drawbacks of cyclotron?
Yeah, we'll discuss definitely. That's why we are, I have told this thing. Working on construction only. There are many other things we have to discuss. Regarding this only, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Now discuss the radius here. Radius means the force and the force is magnetic force inside the what is the force here? Magnetic force and the centrifugal force. Why centrifugal force? Because of this circular motion. And what is this magnetic force? Perpendicular. QVB sine perpendicular, so 90. It means magnetic force is QVB sine 90. And what is the centrifugal force? mv square upon r. What is r? It's the radius. What is the v? It's the velocity. So this way we cancel out one, and r can be written as mv upon qv. This is the radius of the circular path. So here, if the charge particle enters perpendicular in the magnetic field, it circulates in the radius this. Okay, and what is the time period? Time period is given by distance divided by speed. Putting the value of r here, mv upon qb. So here we cancel out now. It will be 2 pi m upon qb. This is the time period. Time period means this is the time taken in one circular motion in half time in 1 day. It is definitely t half will be t by 2 means pi m upon qb. So this capital T is the full cycle time and this is the half cycle time in 1 day. So every half time, every after this time, it accelerates either by from left to right or from right to left. And what the frequency here? Frequency is the reciprocal of time periods of qb upon 2 pi m. And this is called cyclotron frequency like this. And this is called here. This is a oscillator, this cyclotron frequency, these are two same. Because here in the frequency or time period 2 pi q and all are constant, simply mass m is again constant. So frequency is constant, cyclotron frequency is matching with the high frequency oscillator. But what is the drawback here and what is the consequences going on? Mass is not a constant quantity, because by this formula we know m equal to m naught divided by this root of it. If the velocity is very low, v is the velocity of the charged particle and c is the velocity of the light. So if the velocity is quite low, we can presume here m is a constant quantity. But suppose in the cyclotron speed is increases and approaching not exactly equal to the velocity of this light, but here if the v is approaching to c, v is very high and v upon c is very less, so 1 minus something. It is also, let's say 1, suppose v is equal to c, actually it is not. So what will happen? This is 0. So if it is 0, mass will be infinite. Suppose this quantity is approaching to 1, this is very small, so mass is not a constant quantity, mass is also increasing. If mass is also increasing, frequency is also increasing, but this cyclotron frequency, initially it was equal to cyclotron frequency, now it is not the equal. Because this is a constant quantity here and cyclotron frequency is changing because the mass increases. With the increment in the velocity, mass increases, the frequency mismatch. What do you mean by the frequency mismatch? If the frequency is matching these two frequencies, high frequency oscillator frequency and the cyclotron frequency, if they are matching, it is called the resonance. Resonance means the frequency of cyclotron and the frequency oscillator, if they are matching, it means as soon as the charged particle is here, it is moving from left to right. In that course of time, during the same time duration, mind it, electron will must be from left to right, so that it accelerates. Charged particle is moving here and directional electrical field is here. Force in the direction of this acceleration also, it accelerates. Suppose the charged particle is here, directional electrical field should be from D2 to D1, it also accelerates. Okay, this is what it is the resonance. If resonance is there, it always accelerates, and charged particle accelerate means velocity increase and kinetic energy increases. But suppose after getting very high speed, what will happen? This mass changes, the frequency changes, cyclotron frequency and oscillator frequency, they are mismatched. So it is called resonance failure. If the resonance failure, Suppose this is a charge particle here, and directional electrical field is not supporting the charge particle, rather opposing the charge particle. What will happen? It retards. Rather than increment, there is no increment, or at times you can say if the opposition is there, then retardation will be there. Kinetic energy decreases here. And cyclotron is a device to increase the kinetic energy, and suppose after this resonance failure it decreases the kinetic energy. What is the use of this cyclotron? Definitely the purpose is just opposite. So it means this is the drawback. After the failure of resonance, we cannot increase the kinetic energy. It means this is the maximum kinetic energy. Now cyclotron can increase, and after the maximum cyclotron, this kinetic energy, it should come out. It should come out. क्यों अब वहां पर kinetic energy increase नहीं होगी. So this is the maximum kinetic energy, and what is the maximum kinetic energy? We can find out here. One more thing. Let us say this is the maximum radius R0. One thing is very important here. This circulates not in one circle, but radius is continuously increases. Think about this equation 1. If the radius is continuously increases, it is the design here. So what will happen? Automatically velocity increases. Got it? So this is not the principle here, but this is the fact. Principle only kinetic energy increases with the help of magnetic field, but because of this design, radius is also increasing, so speed and kinetic energy also increasing. And the maximum kinetic energy here, is given by half mv square, and v means here half m, v means r. So r square, q square, v square divided by m square, m1 cancel out. This is the maximum kinetic energy. Wait, it is hitting the target.
Excuse me, sir.
What is the drawback? Drawback here is we are using the proton, neutron and alpha particle is small, and the heavy charge particle we are using. But what is the drawback? This is the maximum kinetic energy can be increased by using the cyclotron. So this kinetic energy cannot be increased because of this fact, resonance failure. This is one drawback. And electron cannot be accelerated. Electron can be accelerated, direction ulta ho jayega, that's all. But electron mass is very less. Electron is very light particle. Electron is mass is 1836 times lesser than the proton, and mass of neutron is twice the proton, and mass of alpha particle 4 times than mass of the proton. So we can use the electron also. But question is, if we want to increase the velocity, kinetic energy, so velocity increment is not possible beyond certain limit. That is why here electron is not a suitable particle in cyclotron. If we are intensely using somewhere, we have to accelerate the charge particle electron only, then separate design is there, and this cyclotron is called meant for only electron, called beta particle, so it is called betatron. Betatron is designed especially only for acceleration of electron, and neutron cannot be accelerated because there is no charge. So these are the drawbacks. Yes, Adit, you are asking something, or whosoever was asking something? Any doubt? Someone was asking while we are discussing the drawbacks. Yes. Hello?
So you're not audible.
I'm not audible. Charge, so it cannot be accelerated. Only positive charge particle like proton, neutron and alpha particle. We are using here only these particles because they are heavy and we can increase the kinetic energy Before resonance failure, sufficient kinetic energy can be produced here. So this cyclotron is best suited for the heavy and the charged particle. Charged particle, not neutron. So this is suited for proton, neutron and alpha particle. Not for electron, not for neutron. Okay? I have discussed everything regarding the cyclotron. Yes, Harsh, any doubt still? Harsh, please. Anybody? Yes, one, Kritika, anybody? Tanvi, Shiva.